Welcome live in Whiteland, Indiana, the Battle of the Boot, as the Warriors will be taking on the Franklin Grizzly Cubs. I'm Griffin Kunz, and along my side is Gabe, Rees, and Jackson Brown. So tonight we're going to be seeing a heavy run game from both teams here, as we got Slate Valentine and also Alex Lugers. Gabe, can you explain what is Whiteland going to do tonight to try and get this win secured?
I think obviously we'll all expect the ground game is per usual. That's the Whiteland offense. And I also think that we will expect a little more passes tonight to throw Franklin off their rhythm and maybe show them something that they might not expect, as well as a strong defensive outing from our guys on the Whiteland defense.
Yeah, and Xander Height, over these past few games, he's been tearing it up receiving-wise. That's been one of Ollie Taylor's favorite targets as of recently. And Jackson, tell us a little bit about this Franklin team.
This Franklin team's pretty solid. What I'm looking forward to most, seeing Alex Lugers with the ball in his hands. You know, he's averaging 8 yards a carry and 175 yards per game. Anybody averaging 175 yards per game on the ground is a good running back. And this Whiteland defense is going to have to close those gaps if they want to stop him. Going to have to stop him behind the line of scrimmage, because once he gets going, he runs hard, and he's gonna lay some out that lay some of these dudes out some tonight, and it could get rough.
Yeah, and Darren Fisher's looking. He's seeking his 200th win. So if he wins tonight, it'll be his 200th win in 138 wins in James Slater Stadium.
You know, kind of piggybacking off what you guys were saying earlier about a run-heavy game. You know, we're going to see a lot of runs, but, you know, Ollie Taylor's coming off a two touchdown pass game last week. He's not averaging a lot of passing yards per game, only throwing about 37 yards a game. But, you know, we're growing in confidence with him if we can keep throwing the ball and keep getting those touchdowns. That's going to want Coach Fisher to call those pass plays a whole lot more.
Still have a little break here before kickoff. They're introducing a family out on the 45-yard line right now, but coin toss is about to happen. As we have a little break here, we'll show some sponsorship. Whiteland Football and WBSN is presented by Johnson County Axe Throwing, located at 6001 North US 31, just north of the high school. It offers fun for the entire family. Host your next corporate event, family get-together, or come by and hang out with some friends. Plus, they even offer axe throwing leagues. Johnson County Axe Throwing also offers discounts for veterans and active duty military members. Call 317-809-7401 and make your reservation today. This game is also brought to you by Bailey and Wood Mortgage Lender, family owned and committed to the community. Proud supporter of Whiteland Athletics.
You know, before we start this, we've talked about offense a lot. We've talked about the throwing game, the running game, but I want to talk about this Franklin defense. You know, they got Blake Smith playing the edge, who he's standing at 6'3", 270. That's a big dude. He's gonna be hard to cover. He's got a couple sacks on the season. He's got a few QB pressures. I see him to get past that line a lot tonight and put some pressure on Ollie.
And to add on top of that, he also runs like a 4.8 is what I've been hearing, and that's a big dude running at you at very fast speed.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. We're gonna our guys on the outside of the offensive line are gonna have to be on their game, on the best game they have tonight. It's gonna have to be a good one.
And I'm sure in practice, Whiteland's prepped for that because they have scouting reports and can look to shut down a guy like him.
Yeah, I think Coach Fisher wants that boot back. So I see him. I know he watched a lot of film the past couple weeks.
Yeah, obviously he's been doing that since last year. Didn't go their way after John Preston had to leave midway through the game, but, I mean, that was a crucial piece of Whiteland last year. The Warriors are set to kick off for the first time tonight. It's going to be Ethan Boone. So he's normally our kicker on kickoffs, and then PATs and field goals, you'll have Noah Pope out here.
We'll see if this Whiteland special teams, defensive side of special teams, can clean it up. Last week it was a little bit of a rough go.
Yeah, and that happened in week 1 also. We see Jeffersonville, Tucker, and a couple other players. They were just tearing us up with speed.
There were several confusions on special teams in week 1.
Yeah, returned around to the 30-yard line, stopped by Jordan Palmer.
Yeah, Jordan Palmer kind of tore through those blocks, ran right through the gaps, got to him, got that stop. That's some decent field position to start at, though.
Franklin is headed out to the field right now. Grayson Betts behind the center, probably going to be in the shotgun formation a lot. And here's your starting lineups for the Grizzly Cubs. They're going to fake it. Grayson Betts is going to take off.
Wrapped up. Absolute dog pile right there.
Yeah, he's going to get a gain about 5, though, on the play. So it's a good pickup for him right there.
With a guy like Luger's averaging around 175 per game, you can look for more QB sneaks, which makes it more dynamic for a QB to get by.
Yeah, I was watching some film this week. They really like that option offense. It's really tough because Whiteland's not always been able to defend that, and we're going to see if this Whiteland defense can clean it up this week.
Luger stops for about 3. It's going to bring up about 3rd and short. And what you're seeing right now on the defensive side of the ball is they have made a change. As you've been seeing Aiden Schaefer come around the end, he's sitting at the nose position right now.
Yeah, I was talking to Aiden earlier today. He said, you know, it's going to be fun to play nose, but he wanted to match up with Blake Smith. Hopefully get off of him on the line, but we'll see what he can do at the nose position this week.
Hands it off to Lugers. He's gonna pick up the first down by a couple yards. This is something that we're gonna have to monitor tonight because I think Lugers is gonna get what he wants tonight. Like he tore us up last year. We cannot let that happen again if the Warriors want to get the win tonight.
Yeah, I think the Warriors really have to not let Alex Lugers beat them. If you're gonna get someone on the Franklin team to beat him, do not let him beat you.
Grayson Betts drops back to pass. It's going to be completed on the sideline. It's going to be Braden Bonesteel.
Yeah, don't leave Braden Bonesteel out. We haven't talked about him yet. He's probably Franklin, one of their more solid receivers. He's got a couple receiving, I guess you'd call it catches for over 20 yards, and that's going to be a big deal for Whiteland tonight if he can get a couple of those.
Betts drops back to pass. He rolls to the right, and he's going to take off. Hit by Clayton Ratliff, but he goes for a few more, and they're going to pick up the first down again. This is not looking good for the Warriors defense so far.
Yeah, you saw Grayson Betts. We didn't know that he had that speed, and he took off, and he just played that power against Clayton too, kind of putting him on the ground a little bit. That's a solid steal by that's a solid run by Betts.
Well, yeah, and that's what they like to do a lot. Last year they had Clay Pinnick, also a running quarterback, and then they throw in Grayson Betts, and they both like to run the ball as an option. Hands it off to Lugers up the middle.
Swallowed up by Palmer.
Only a couple going for him there.
I think one reason that the Whiteland defense is going to have to maintain is their energy because of long drives like this that run the clock down and keep them on the field for a while. They'll look to have to keep their energy so they can get stops and get back on offense.
Yeah, we saw Decatur throw the ball a lot last week. It was a longer game, but this week it's going to be a shorter game because the ball's going to be on the ground a lot more. That running clock is going to stay running.
Well, so far we've only seen a couple carries out of Lugers, which is unnormal for them. It's going to be a false start. It's going to move them back 5 yards.
That'll make it 2nd and 13, which is still manageable, but you know it's hard to get 10 yards in football, let alone 13. So we'll see if this Franklin offense can find their juice and get going.
In situations like these, this is what the Warriors have to capitalize on, especially when they're in a long drive like this.
Grayson Betts, quarterback draw straight up the middle. He's swarmed by some Warriors, but he's going to get a good gain of about 8 or 9 yards on the play.
Yeah, just shown from this first drive. Maybe the Warriors can make that adjustment, but, you know, that option's going to kill him. It's killed him in past games. It's really tough to play. It's hard to read, but you know, they call it that read option. The quarterback reads who they want to give it to. They take it up the middle. It's kind of like a wildcat play. Franklin runs it a lot different than any other teams do.
And it's good to have versatility on your team because it can help you get a lot more big plays.
Luger Betts has a man wide open. He makes some moves, and he's still going. Corey Tante with a big pickup, and he's only a sophomore, so this is a big moment for him.
Yeah, we saw the sophomore there get it and dodge a couple tackles. The Warriors defense have to make it their point to make tackles and make good reads, and just so far this game it has not been pretty. But you know, you make what's that word? You make changes, you get going, you get rolling. We'll see if Coach Rudolph can get that going for the Warriors defense.
Yeah, normally you're going to see a lot of Lugers in the backfield with Betts, but Betts has been very alone tonight. He's going to take another quarterback draw, and he is wide open. Makes a man miss. He's going to be down to about the 3-yard line right here, and this has been a horrible defensive drive for the Whiteland Warriors.
But you also got to give it to him because, you know, Lugers, they haven't been given the ball. That's not what they're expecting. That was kind of their game plan. And Betts, he's an athletic guy. He's making those jumps, dodging those tackles. It's going to be rough.
Hands off to Lugers. He's going to go outside, and he's going to be short. He's going to pick up about 1 or 2 on the play. I look to him going back to Betts here. I mean, the quarterback draw has worked so far. I think they should just go straight back to it.
Yeah, and, you know, Franklin may be close, but these are some of the toughest plays to run. Red zone offense is some of the hardest football to play. Especially within this yardage. You don't have many options.
Lugers again, and he is stuffed. But he's going to fight his way. No signal yet. Touchdown. The Grizzly Cubs strike first tonight. This is a surprising one so far. This Warriors defense has got to go to the sideline and figure out what they need to do.
And I think Lugers draws so much attention that it lets guys like receivers and opens the passing game and for QB sneaks and draws to get up the field and score a touchdown.
Yeah, and Matt Payne on for the extra point. And this kick is going to be good, and that's going to put the Grizzly Cubs up 7-0, and we're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. Back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as Franklin just had a big drive from about the 30-yard line into the end zone, led by Alex Lugers and Grayson Betts.
I think this drive the Warriors have to look to pass, especially to throw Franklin off, as well as the run game.
Blake Riddle back to receive the kick. Going to be a sky kick, and Riddle's going to get it. Up the sideline. He's going to get a good return right there to about the 32-yard line.
That's a 37.
37, my
37.
apology.
He's got that's a good run. That gives the Warriors some good starting position. Hopefully gives them a head start to get a good drive going.
Yeah, now you're seeing the Warriors starting lineup led by senior Slate Valentine.
Sorry, what were you saying?
The Warriors break the huddle.
I'm looking for Valentine to have some solid games. He's rushing about 200 yards a game. We'll see what he can do tonight.
Yeah, and he's coming off a calf/knee injury, so you might see some Jordan Palmer at tailback tonight. That's going to be a little mix-up for Franklin as they're expecting Valentine, but he's been a little hurt this week.
You know, Slate's been able to run up the middle and get him going, but when they really need it, you know, Jordan Palmer's that guy they can turn to and say, hey, we need 4 or 5 yards, and he'll go out there. He can do that for you.
Yeah, and I think something that helps him do that is he's a bigger guy, a little bit taller, a little bit stronger, can push through the defensive line a little easier and get those extra yards.
Valentine takes a red.
Man,
he's going to be
swallowed up by that Franklin defense.
Yeah, this is where you're going to see Ollie Taylor maybe drop back to passes. Nothing's going right now for the Warriors with Slade Valentine. I think Franklin's been ready for it. I mean, Valentine was our only hope last year, and I think that's what Franklin knows they have to do to get the win.
Yeah, and don't count out Ollie. We saw last week his performance with the ball. You know, he threw a couple picks, but he was also that defensive pressure was also kind of hard on him. We'll see what he can do this week, turn it around, maybe roll out, make some passes.
Yeah, and against Kokomo, Ollie Taylor's going to scramble, and he's going to pick up the first and more. Pushed out at the 40-yard line about. But as you were saying, Jackson, Ollie Taylor, he's been tearing it up recently in the Decatur game. He had some nice passes as just didn't limit the turnovers. But then you've seen the Kokomo game where it got stopped at halftime. He was making some very nice throws.
Yeah, I mean, and just because he's quarterback doesn't mean he can't run the ball. You know, he's averaging around 50 yards a game, and for a quarterback, that's pretty solid. If they can get that option going, Slate, Connor Grismer, Jordan Palmer, and Ollie, you know, that can be pretty dangerous.
And we've seen him do something similar to that against Jeffersonville in week 1. We saw him run for around the 60-yard touchdown along the sidelines, and that's something that he can do very well.
Braden Yates stiff arms a couple defenders. He's going to get about a gain of 6 or 7 on the play.
Yeah, Braden Yates back after last week. He missed the game with a shoulder injury. He had some good plays in sectionals last year that we saw from him. We're hoping to see that potential really show this year and it kind of rise out of him.
And he's only a sophomore, too, so he's got a lot of room to improve and get better.
Yes, sir. As we have a Franklin player down at about the 52-yard line.
Yeah, and we're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. We will be back.
Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey Jeff, how does this look?
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
We'll be back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as the Warriors have about a 2nd and 5. Taylor's under center, sends a couple guys in motion. Hand it to Jordan Palmer, and he's going to plow for about 7 yards on the play.
You know, I said earlier, he's that guy that can get you 4 or 5 yards. Right there getting you 7 yards. You know, he kind of just pushes up the middle. He's kind of in that tailback, fullback hybrid position. He's a dangerous guy. This defense better be looking out for him.
The Warriors are driving just as much as Franklin has to us, but this drive right here has been led by Ollie Taylor's big run. So we'll see if they can continue this. Jordan Palmer, another carry. He's going to bring a couple defenders with him for a gain about 4 or 5 yards.
You know, we have a couple runs up the middle, but Ollie Taylor might be one of the fastest dudes on that field right now. I really want to see the Whiteland offense run that option and hopefully open some gaps up.
Yeah, and Dylan Brown was just out there. He runs a very fast 40-yard dash. He's also a very quick player.
Yeah, we haven't seen as much of the sweep as usual from Coach Fisher this year. Maybe he'll open that up in this game this week.
I think someone to watch on the sweep is Blake Riddle, a first-year player. He's a senior. We saw that good return on special teams, and I think that's someone who you can count on, especially with his passing touchdown in week 1.
As Clayton Ratliff takes it up the middle. That's not something we're used to seeing. He only has 4 carries this year for 23 yards, but, on those 23 yards, he's averaging about 6 yards a carry. So, if you can get it in a few guys' hands that can get those yards every time, run some variety this game. That seems to be working for this Whiteland offense.
It'll help keep players fresh, too, to rotate, especially someone like Slate who needs to stay fresh with the workload he has.
Nolan's going to take a sweep to the outside, and he's got Green ahead of him. He's to the 5-yard line, and he's in the end zone. The Warriors are the first time of the night. They're on the board.
And that's just what you were talking about, Jackson. Coach Fisher pulling out a sweep. Franklin hasn't seen it yet tonight and scores a touchdown.
Yeah, that's another guy we're not used to seeing with the ball in his hands. But, he showed his speed there. He showed his agility. He got to the outside. Got a touchdown for these Whiteland Warriors.
Yeah, and they've been short on X's or Y's, whatever you want to call them, the sweepers that come around the outside. They've been short on those this year. They've lost a couple players through injuries and whatever else. Noah Pope's extra point is good. It's going to be 7-7 as the Warriors just had a big drive led by Ollie Taylor's big run. And we're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network.
Have an opportunity to do something special, and I want to be part of it.
That's a sacred moment. The basketball. Lob it up. Yes. Throw it down.
We have a dream as an organization to be an NBA championship organization. People are going to find out about the Pacers.
Back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as Whiteland just had a big drive, and no passing on that drive. Obviously you saw Taylor drop back to pass and then decided to just scramble, which set him up for that first down when they were in a 3rd and 10 situation. So Franklin had a good stop at the beginning, and then after that Fisher knew what they were coming out, and he just kept putting it to him.
Yeah, if both offenses can produce like they did that their first drive, this is going to be a shootout between these two teams. This is an entertaining game. This is a big game for both teams. It's battle of the boot. We'll see how it goes.
I expect a high-scoring game, too, as you were saying.
Solid kick.
Ian Lewis makes the tackle. We're going to get a good return right there, though.
Right around the 33-yard line. He'll work through the gaps, work it up there. Be swallowed by a few Whiteland defenders.
Grizzly Cub offense is coming back on the field. Betts hands it to Lugers. Lugers gets hit, and he's not much going for him there. What I've not liked to see from Franklin so far is they like to do these outside handoffs, and it hasn't worked too well for them.
Yeah, no, Lugers is a big dude. He can break some tackles. He's got some strength to him. I don't know why they don't run it up the middle, but, coach is going to coach, player's going to play.
Yeah, and you didn't see much of this formation with Lugers in the backfield with Betts in the first drive, but right now they're looking to do it and just give it to Lugers. As he stopped for another short gain. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
They run kind of it's a regular style. You see it a lot, but it's also, you kind of say to yourself, what's this? They've got 4 receivers out there just to run it. Maybe stack a couple tight ends in there to get a couple more blocks for the bigger guys, and they might be able to get some more yardage.
Yeah, and Betts is alone, 3 to the left and 2 to the right. got some people. Nothing much going. He's looking to run, and he's going to be, it's going to be a very close call. I think they're going to give him the first down, though, and they do.
You know, we saw Aiden Schaefer give it all he got there, but just missed him.
It's going to set up another 1st and 10 as they're driving so far right now.
And I don't think passing the ball would exactly be a bad option for Franklin, even though they do have a guy like Lugers and a running QB like Betts. But also because Whiteland has a younger, more inexperienced secondary, they could definitely take a chance to capitalize on that.
Yeah, but going off that secondary, you know, Jake Clemmy, you don't want to run it to his side. He's been using those low tackles, knocking the ball out of some defenders or some offensive guys' hands and causing some havoc on his side of the field.
Yeah, and the secondary isn't too young, actually. Other than Eli Taylor, it's his first year on varsity. Jake Clemmy played a lot last year. Luger's going to get a gain of about 8 again. He's just dominating and getting everything he wants right now.
Yeah, you saw the stiff armor too there. That's gonna, I mean, guys in the weight room.
Four to the right. Betts by himself in shotgun. He's going to take the snap. Nothing going. And Jordan Palmer lays a big hit on him. Grayson Betts needs to get down and take a slide, quit taking all these hits. They're going to get the first down.
Whoa.
You can expect a lot of hits like that from Jordan Palmer, returning all Mid-State Conference and returning all state.
Yeah, and he's been playing since he was a freshman. I mean, when Whiteland made that big state run, Jordan Palmer was there to help him.
Yep, using that experience he got from that, and now he's a team captain helping to lead younger guys.
Grayson Betts drops back to pass, a little hitch route.
Ooh.
It's going to go to Braden Bonesteel again. It's his second reception of the night.
Yeah, they're gonna play. I think they're gonna double him up and play some extra coverage on him. Him being Betts' favorite receiver, you know, but he hasn't been. He's been dropping back for passes a few times now, but he's just not been able to find his guys. This Whiteland secondary is doing a good job of, even when they get the ball in their hands, swallowing it up and stopping them for a little less yardage.
Yeah, and that was a very big hit there by Jake Clemmy.
Yeah, he got in there and stopped him before he could even do anything.
Some confusion going on with the refs right now, and they're going to take that to quarter. It's going to be 7-7. Franklin right now is driving, and that's going to go to the second quarter. We will be back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Emma and Jake's just baby-proof their 2-bedroom bungalow to prepare for baby number 1 insurance. We're good at Madeline and Chance's just gave in and became minivan people to make room for baby number 2 insurance. And we're good at Gabby and Nate's just moved to a house with a bigger backyard to welcome fur baby number 3 insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. We're proud of our sponsorships this year as Whiteland Football on WBSN is presented by Johnson County Axe Throwing, located at 6001 North US 31, just north of the high school. It offers fun for the entire family. Host your next corporate event, family get-together, or come by and hang out with some friends. Plus, they even offer axe throwing leagues. Johnson County Axe Throwing also offers discounts for veterans and active duty military members. Call 317-809-7401 and make your reservation today. Whiteland Beat Sports Network is also sponsored by Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender. Betts by himself again. I think Franklin's liking what they're seeing right now from him as the quarterback. Has a guy deep, and he's tripped up by Abraham Gonzalez for about a loss of 2, but there's some laundry on the field.
Flag on the field. See what this one might be on. Oh, it's going to send him back a few yards. You know, a flag is not what this Franklin offense wanted. This is what nobody wanted. I mean, that's going to cause them some trouble moving them back. They keep moving back, you know, they're going to call this play, but we'll see what they can do, losing yards, and see if they can turn it around, because this is not what they want on their second drive.
It's going to be about a 2nd and 15 on the play.
The Warriors definitely got to capitalize on this because they need to keep them out of field goal range and touchdown.
Luger's dancing around in the backfield, making some moves. Not much going for him, but he's going to get a gain of about 3.
And you could see Abraham Gonzalez get back there and, you know, try to make a stop and miss a couple tackles, but he was pressuring him to be able to help his teammates to where they could come in and make that tackle.
Yeah, and Abe Gonzalez, I mean, didn't have a great sophomore year. He's been in and out of the starting lineup as a sophomore, and then fast forward to his junior year, he's been a crucial part of this team. He's really took a step up.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in that weight room, got a lot bigger. He's a scary dude out there on that defensive line.
Betts rolls to his right. Nothing going. He's going to throw a hitch. And I think they're going to say he caught it. That's Corey Tante again, the sophomore. It's going to bring up about 4th and 4.
Yeah, don't be surprised for this Franklin offense to go for it. They've been able to get 4 yards all game. Don't be surprised if they try to here now. 4th and 2.
Yeah, it looks like they gave him a good spotting right there. Our secondary's done pretty good right now. Eli Taylor and Jake Clemmy, and obviously Riddle and Blankenship at the safety position have been locking up, but it's just our outside linebackers and stuff. They've got to cover their zones. Luger's on 4th down, and he's going to pick it up. They're going to give him the 1st down, and Franklin comes back from that long penalty, and they've made a statement here.
That's what they call football a game of inches. He was so close to being just short of that 1st down, but capitalizes on a late Whiteland defense.
You know, that's the opposite of what this Whiteland defense wanted. You know, they got the flag was called, they got the yardage, and then just couldn't capitalize on it.
Luger's back in the backfield next to Betts. They're going to fake it to him and have a quick slant. And I think that's going to be Tante again. And he's really done a great job so far as being only being a sophomore. He's made some nice receptions for this team. Four to the left, 1 to the right. I think you're going to see a Betts run right here, and there's going to be a false start as one of the receivers from the left jumped a little early.
You know, they're giving Whiteland those chances. It's their time to capitalize, see what they can do on it.
Looks like that's on Cade Petty, number 16. Student section seems happy about that call.
They've been loud tonight.
Definitely filling up after limited parking. Shuttle buses coming in, USA theme. Battle of the Boot.
Yeah, we're seeing some pretty solid themes here tonight. Got Adam Sandler and USA.
Yeah, the Warriors student section was kind of slim at the start of the game, but it's starting to pick up here late. Luger's again to the outside. And Jordan Palmer's just going to miss him. A little too much speed for him, but he's going to pick up a gain about 6.
Man, Luger's just showcasing that speed and agility, getting around the edge and being able to pick up some minor, or really a good amount of yards to hopefully fuel them on the next down.
Yeah, I think they need to use Lugers up the middle a little bit more. I mean, they're doing all these outside zones. I mean, working here and there, but he's been stopped a lot too. Betts hands it to Lugers again. He's going to go up the middle, just like I said, and he's got a path to the end zone, and he's in. Alex Lugers, his second touchdown of the night.
Man, and this is not looking great for the Warriors. Just couldn't stop him this time.
Hey, you know, I didn't say this was going to be a game of stops. I said this was going to be a shootout, and I think that's what we're going to see. Might not be a high-scoring shootout, but it's going to be a shootout. That, you know, Lugers had 5. That's his 7th touchdown on the season. Don't be surprised to see a whole lot more. Probably some more of this game.
Yeah, and the kick is good by Matt Payne as the second extra point of the night, and Franklin just drive down on a quick drive and scored 7 points. We'll be back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as we will take a break.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Matt's 1-car, 2-bedroom apartment with a home office / home gym insurance.
We're good at Nick's SUV and farmhouse with a remodeled kitchen / art gallery insurance.
And we're good at the Wilbur suburban home with the 2-car garage / rehearsal space insurance.
Have you seen my hockey socks?
Have you checked your sock drawer?
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
30 seconds. We're back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as the Warriors just got, I mean, I don't know what you want to say. They just got it to them. I mean, Franklin just pushed the ball and pushed the ball and pushed the ball until they got in the end zone.
Yeah, and on this receiving side for the Warriors, we see Blake Riddle and freshman Colton Shipp. We'll see what he can do on the return team. He might be playing some running back or linebacker this game, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see him a lot at linebacker unless there's an injury or maybe even 2 injuries. But as a returner, Riddle's going to take it. Caden Blankenship with a big block. He's going to bring it around to the 27-yard line. The Warriors break the huddle as they went to the sideline and talked to Darren Fisher for a good amount of time to see what they can do here. Slade Valentine's going to get a pitch to the right side. He's going to get a gain of about 4 or 5 on the play. And we haven't seen a lot of him tonight. Normally it's Slade Valentine with the carry, Slade Valentine with the carry. And tonight you've seen it split up with the sweepers, Jordan Palmer, and even Clayton Ratliff.
Yeah, you know, Slate might not be getting a bunch of gains this game, but those yards will add up. You know, he's a guy with about 65 carries this year, and they'll look to hand the ball off to him a lot more as he goes up the middle.
He can get another gain of about 4 yards on the carry. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 on the play.
And one reason I think for him maybe not getting the ball as much this game is that Fisher knows that Franklin is expecting him to get the ball and trying to use his other options to get around the Franklin defense.
Yeah, you know, he's also coming off that knee soreness that might be a little bit troublesome / gruesome for him, but we'll see what he can do, see if he can pick it up. Looks like we have an offsides.
Going to move him up 5 and give him the first down.
Yeah, it looked like the sophomore Kellen Fellier at defensive tackle there, playing the nose, kind of maybe got a little bit too excited and jumped there.
Taylor rolls to the right, and he's got Peyton Williams for a reception. He's going to get about a gain of 9.
You know, we've seen it a lot this year. When Ollie Taylor rolls out to pass, his favorite targets are his tight ends.
They're going to give him the first down, a generous spot for the Warriors right here.
Yeah, I think a play like that we'll see several more times tonight, and definitely a bunch more as the season rolls on.
Yeah, he's targeted Xander Height, 84 Xander Height, and junior Peyton Williams a whole lot this year. Those seem to be some of his favorite guys to throw to.
Taylor's going to hand to Valentine again. Only about 2 or 3 going on the play.
Looks like Valentine might be limping off the field a little bit. That could be trouble for the Warriors offense.
Yeah, and like I've talked about at the beginning of the game, he's been dealing with that calf and knee injury or whatever he's dealing with. And so that's not a good sign for the Warriors. I mean, you're going to bring in Jordan Palmer, but he's going to also need some breaks to play the defensive side of the ball. You're going to hand to Braden Yates. He's not much going for him there, but slips a few tackles.
Ooh.
There's going to be some laundry on the field.
Man, there was a lot of dives and misses there in the backfield going after him. He was able to break a couple tackles, but he kind of got hit with the death roll on that last push forward.
And I think that's going to be on Whiteland. It's actually going to be on Franklin.
Franklin.
And they turn around again. That's actually going to be on Whiteland, like I said the first time.
Wow. A little bit of confusion between these refs, it seems like. Had 3 different opinions on what they wanted the flag to be.
Not just the student section, but here on alumni night, the stands in Whiteland look pretty filled.
It's going to be a second and very long. Ollie Taylor's going to pitch right to Jordan Palmer, and he's got some room on the sideline. He's going to bowl over a defender. He's going to get a gain of about 9.
Yeah, you know, 3rd and 14, that's a bit rough, but we'll see.
Valentine's back in the game. I think you're going to see a pass here from Ollie Taylor.
I mean, at 3rd and 14, I feel like you almost have to pass. It's hard to get a 14-yard run on 3rd down.
Drops back to pass. He has his Eli Taylor with the reception. Taylor to Taylor. He's going to be about 3 yards short of the first down. That's going to bring up about 4th and 4.
Yeah, solid pass completion. We saw a couple sour Franklin players after that play, but, you know, had a little brotherhood shown there.
Yeah, they've had that chemistry since they were really little.
And a Franklin defender's going to jump again. That's going to give the Warriors a first down. And Franklin players pushing each other, mad at each other. Something you don't want to do with your teammates. That's bad chemistry.
Several costly flags have hurt Franklin. And especially with what you were saying about team chemistry. Team chemistry is a very important aspect of football, obviously, because it's a team sport.
Yeah, with the 1st and 10 for these Warriors, they got a fresh new set of downs. Slate Valentine back in the backfield.
Ollie Taylor's going to make a fake, and he's got Dylan Brown out to his right side, and Dylan Brown's going to catch it. He's going to get hit hard, but he's going to pick up a nice gain on the play.
A very hard hit by that Franklin defense.
Yeah, we're seeing something Ollie hasn't showcased very much this season is when he gets out of the pocket, he kind of just wanders. But that there, you know, he had 2 defenders just running straight at him, kind of a scary scene for him, but he was able to get the ball off, dump it off to Brown, who was able to get a few yards.
Where's they're going to shift? Valentine in the backfield. They're going to hand to Slate Valentine. Not much going again. He's going to get a pick of about 1 or 2 on the play.
Yeah, you know, this hasn't been a very defensive showcase for either side. Both offenses showing their strengths.
All right, Nolan in motion. Ollie Taylor drops back to pass. He has Eli there, but only a pick of about 3 or 4 in the play. It's going to bring up a 4th down. I mean, you're in the zone right now where Noah Pope is not going to hit a field goal. He just doesn't have the range, and then you don't want to punt as a touchback. You're going to go for this.
Kind of have to. You got nothing to lose. Of course, you do have a drive to lose, but no reason for either of those.
Yeah, only 4 minutes left on the clock, though. Something to watch there.
Yeah, we're seeing a quick game between these Grizzly clubs and Warriors, but that running game. Oh, and another jump on the Franklin defense. This time it'll be on number 25, Wiley McCain, the sophomore. This sophomore class from Franklin is just not doing him justice tonight.
Several words exchanged between several players on the Franklin D-line. Seems to be very irritated, as we said earlier. Definitely not great for their chemistry.
Yeah, and you're just going to keep going back to that if they can't seem to figure it out. I mean, you're just going to keep going back to it, try and pick up first downs. Eli Taylor wide to the right. Jordan Palmer in the I formation. They're going to hand to Tyree Nolan.
Ooh! No.
And he gets suplexed, and a flag finally comes out.
He broke a first tackle, but then an absolute dirty tackle on the second.
Very solid moves to get by him, but then a player just made an inappropriate play.
It's not an acceptable play. That's going to be an automatic first down and a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, that's just something you don't want to see in football. You don't want to see people doing things like that because that can lead to injuries and players being thrown out of the game.
Yeah, it's getting a little chippy here between these two teams. And also the Franklin team, they got to figure it out themselves. They keep just arguing with each other.
And you expect an environment like this, especially with the rivalry and the battle for the boot. But you don't want to see anything like that because that's just not football.
Yeah, sophomore Kellen Fellier, 44, had a couple flags earlier and then made that tackle, and that just puts his defense in a hole.
Yeah, and Valentine's going to get the carry there. Actually not Valentine, Massengale. It's going to be about a gain of 2. We haven't seen the ball back in Taylor's hands to throw in a minute. I think it could be coming very soon.
Yeah, I think he can be lethal in the red zone, especially if people are expecting a pass. He can go and run it there himself, especially as the game clock winds down.
And as I say that, he has Riddle to the right. Jordan Palmer's a blocker. Riddle's going to be stopped at the 1, almost in the end zone there. And we saw that play against Jeffersonville earlier this year as Ollie Taylor just threw a little toss to Blake Riddle, and then he gets to the end zone.
You know, very typical with these refs. They've called many first downs this game that look short to everybody, but then on the touchdown there, they want to call it short.
Ollie Taylor, quarterback sneak, and he is stuffed.
Very surprising there. You know, these refs have seemed very eager to throw out first downs, but on a play like that, you know, there's no telling. There's a lot of guys there. And on this 2nd and 1, we'll see what the Warriors can do with this new field position.
Yeah, Warriors are burning some clock here.
With the Warriors receiving after halftime, they want to convert this touchdown here.
Yeah, a touchdown here is going to put the game at 13-14, awaiting an extra point from Noah Pope. Could tie this game up before halftime, and I don't think Franklin has enough in him to go put another drive together and score.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, Whiteland will get the ball first half, correct, or second half, correct?
Yep, correct.
And that can create some serious momentum.
Yeah, it's a bit, especially if it's a shootout. Them being tied, getting the ball back, something very important to this game.
Yeah, and the kick is good.
What you want to make sure here to do is to keep that Franklin team from getting into field goal range or getting a touchdown here.
Yeah, we're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as the game is tied at 14-14 with 1:33 left. We will be back.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We're back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as it's 14-14, a good game so far. Franklin led by Alex Lugers and Whiteland led by, honestly, Ollie Taylor, since Slade Valentine hasn't been getting much tonight.
And that's what you want from your senior quarterback, you know, leading the drives when maybe someone else can't.
And he's took a big step up this summer. He's done very good.
Ethan Boone to boot the kick. A low kick. Oh, and they're going to let it go out.
It's going to be a penalty. Obviously, the kick out of bounds. Going to move him up to around the 40-yard line, I want to say. 35 maybe.
Troublesome for this Whiteland defense because that's just giving them better field position than they already need.
Yeah, like I said, going to move it up to the 40-yard line. Franklin's going to take over. 3 timeouts left, 1:33. Obviously, you start to see Grayson Betts pass a lot this drive as they want to save the clock.
Yeah, look out for that secondary. Eli Taylor, Jake Clemmy, Blake Riddle, and Caden Blankenship. There'll be some ball hawks. This is going to be an air raid type of drive, and we're looking to see the ball in the air. And hopefully both teams can come up with something.
And you hope they protect the sidelines right here, as you don't want Franklin getting free time.
Yeah, you have to be very careful in a situation like this.
Betts going to toss one up on the sideline, and he's out of bounds, no doubt.
You know, he worked hard to get that foot in, but just couldn't.
It's going to stop the clock at least with an incomplete pass.
Especially running plays like that to the sideline and with incomplete passes, this drive could last a while.
Yeah, don't be surprised if the air raid is a factor here for this to be the longest drive yet. Well, definitely not the longest, but it's going to feel the longest.
Yeah, I mean, 24 seconds can feel like a while in football.
Betts with a big run, and he slides.
It's First time we're going to see him slide all game.
It's going to keep the clock going once the chains have moved.
Yeah, we're used to seeing him use that left shoulder and kind of lower into some guys, but he stayed smart there and slid, saved himself.
Time is ticking.
You don't want to take unnecessary hits either. Conserve your body.
Yes, sir.
Betts back to pass again. Rolls to his right. Makes a move. He's going to run the ball. He's going to stay in bounds. But there's a flag on the play.
Don't be surprised to see a holding call here.
Number 57, Abe Gonzalez was close to that sack right there, but just couldn't get it.
Yeah, you know, Betts was able to kind of utilize his speed there and get out of the pocket and get some yardage, but we'll see what the refs say. Oh, and they're going to move the ball back. Looks like a Franklin flag, and they're moving it a hefty amount. That'll cost them 10 yards on the play for 1st and 20.
It's a big hit right there.
With 52 seconds left.
Yeah.
They got to go quick.
And clock is moving.
Yeah, now seeing this, you're kind of guaranteed to pass, so.
Yeah, and they haven't used a timeout yet, which is kind of surprising as these players are confused and they've just wasted 20 seconds or more off the clock. Luger's the carry. Not much going. About a gain of 5. The clock is going to keep going. I think they're just waiting to take this game to halftime. Yeah, the clock keeps running, so I think that's what's going to happen here. And it's halftime here as the Warriors and the Grizzly Cubs are tied 14-14. Grizzly Cubs led by Grayson Betts and Alex Lugers, and Warriors led by Ollie Taylor and a couple of the running backs. We're going to show some sponsorship here before we go to halftime. Whiteland Football on WBSN is presented by Johnson County Axe Throwing, located at 6001 North US 31, just north of the high school. It offers fun for the entire family. Host your next corporate event, family get-together, or come by and hang out with some friends. Plus, they even offer axe throwing leagues. Johnson County Axe Throwing also offers discounts for veterans and active duty military members. Call 317-809-7401 and make your reservation today. This game is also brought to you by Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender, family owned and committed to the community, proud supporter of Whiteland Athletics. As the game's tied 14-14 and the band comes out for the halftime show, we will be back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. Welcome back on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as it's 14-14. Franklin and Whiteland tied up at the halftime. We're going to send it to Jackson right here, and he's going to tell us about the scores around the mid-state and just locally.
Yeah, it is Mid-State week for the Mid-State Conference. We've got all Mid-State teams playing teams within the Mid-State, which isn't uncommon, but I'm going to kick it to Plainfield versus Perry Meridian. It's 14-6 at halftime there. Perry Meridian's going up against a tough 3-0 Plainfield team.
Yeah, and that Plainfield team obviously led by Bryce Sabank and Luke Starnes, their running back. Bryce Sabank, a young quarterback, but so far Plainfield's played very well this season.
Yeah, kick it over to Decatur Central versus Martinsville. We are watching an absolute beating as Decatur is leading 35-7 at halftime. It's 14-14 here. You know, Ellis has 14, Mooresville. They're trailing Greenwood by 12 points, being 26-24 right at halftime.
Yeah, and Aiden Hausman, obviously quarterback of Greenwood, he's always been a very good quarterback for them, but I mean, this is his first year actually getting some varsity time as a junior, so he's been a big piece for Greenwood, and I just don't know how great Mooresville is this year after losing Hogan Denny and some of their other key players.
Yeah, I mean, the Mid-State Conference lost a lot of great quarterbacks last year, being Hogan Denny, Brock Riddle.
Noel Riddle.
Brock Riddle was kind of a beast. He was a dog there at Greenwood. Had some games where he was throwing over 300, 400 yards.
Yeah, and even Clay Pennick for Franklin, he was a pretty good piece for them last year, rushing the ball.
Hogan Denny, you know, he has an arm. He's a catcher over there at IU now. I mean, he was throwing bullets left and right. So, you know, it's good to see some new guys filling in their shoes, hopefully taking over and fulfilling carrying on with their legacy.
Yeah, and it's still 14-14. Players still on the field warming up, and we're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. Back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. Open up the third quarter now. Whiteland's set to receive the ball. We got Blake Riddle and Colton Schmidt back to return. What do you want to see this half, Gabe, from Whiteland?
And, yeah, I think this drive is going to be the most pivotal one so far this game. I want to see them get on the board somewhat quickly, try to make sure this game keeps trucking along, get the ball back, you know, just try to build a bigger lead and make sure Franklin's not there to come back and get him later in the game.
Yeah, and Jackson, what do you want to see from Franklin here to keep this intensity up?
Really, the run game has been solid for Franklin. What I want to see is then the receivers be able to get more open because Grayson Betts has been able to buy himself time, and I'd really love to see him to be able to complete some throws this game.
Yeah, and again, Grayson Betts, I want to see Grayson Betts actually rush the ball a little more like he did in the very first drive of the game.
Blake Riddle taking it down around the 23-yard line. You know, they're not starting with so great field position as they normally would. You know, a couple times this game we started up past the 30, past the 40, but, you know, they need to capitalize on – Franklin's has a lot of flags this game. Some dirty plays have led to some flags, and, you know, Whiteland fans are hoping to see them be able to convert on those and make some plays, hopefully score some touchdowns off of that.
Yeah,
3 yards.
In my opinion, I think Whiteland would be down in this game without those flags by the Franklin defense, and I think those are very costly.
Valentine back in the I formation. Franklin's going to jump, but there might have been some movement on the offense. We're not sure yet.
Man, one good thing that Ollie and Caden do is that snap count.
Yeah, and that's going to be encroachment on Franklin. That's going to move him up 5 yards, give him a 1st and 5. Good start to this half.
Yeah, you don't see Caden Fleming jump too much, but you know he's done a good job this game of kind of baiting this Franklin defense, giving his team some extra yards. They're going to start 1st and 5, something you don't hear very often, but something when you do hear, that offense is happy to hear.
Yeah, something we haven't talked about yet is as I see punters warming up on the sidelines, no team has punted yet, so it's been a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, every team's converted on every drive.
Yeah, Valentine met in the backfield by Smith, a key player that we've talked about earlier.
They're going to call that forward progress.
But he's still going to lose about 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah. You know, Slate hasn't been working for this Whiteland offense this game. He's worked. I mean, he's ran for a few yards, but you know, Darren Fisher's been using a lot more guys, and the variety's really been working in the first half. We'll see if they can keep that up.
Taylor under center sends a guy in motion. They're going to go on the hard count again. No jumping this time, and pitch to Grismer, and he is stuffed. That's going to be another loss on the play. And now you're looking at a 3rd and long. Do you guys want to see Ollie Taylor pass the ball here?
I do. Especially because you want to get out of this spot. Punting from this spot in the field is not going to be good for the Whiteland defense, especially after allowing 2 touchdowns on 2 drives from Franklin.
Okay, we've had a lot of flags called this play, but I just want to point this out that I just watched 3 guys jump on that play. So maybe a little bit of short change, but, you know, let's see if Ollie Taylor can roll out and complete a pass.
Going to send Dylan Brown in motion. Looking at an X fade right here, and Zaire nowhere to looking for the ball, and that's incomplete pass.
Looks like Ollie definitely had his route down. Zaire just had his head wasn't in the game.
Yeah, and I just jinxed the punt. I mean, the Warriors is all first drive, and they're punting.
Yeah, this isn't great for the Warriors. Bad punt position. Franklin obviously has lethal backs, can run it back and get farther down the field.
Yeah, and Eli's there, normally the punter for the Warriors. It's going to be freshman Colton Ship out here to punt.
We're seeing something from Franklin that you don't see very often, being 2 punt returners.
He's going to have a pretty good punt, actually. Going to land about the 43-yard line. 40-yard punt right there. I mean, not terrible for the freshman's first time.
Yeah, I definitely did not expect to see that, but definitely a good punt.
Yeah, one thing Whiteland's had kind of some trouble with the past 2 years, they've kind of transitioned punters, which, you know, it's an important position, but at the same time, a lot of guys can do it. So something you'll see Coach Fisher do a lot is kind of change up punters from game to game. Like last year we saw a lot of Gunnar Hicks, a lot of Dane Kunz. Jordan Palmer even had some punts. That's always some guy. You can always look for new guys to be punting. As Betts throws up the middle, complete.
That's going to be Cade Petty. I think it's his first reception of the night. And maybe Franklin's looking to pass after the first half. I mean, Whiteland started to figure out Lugers for a minute. Maybe Franklin's wanting to start the passing game.
Yeah, I think Betts has read the game very well, especially not just in the run game, but especially the passing game, seeing those gaps open up in the middle and the deep ball.
Again, Grayson Betts in the backfield by himself. He's going to send Lugers to come next to him. It's going to be a play fake, and it's swatted.
Oh, it's deflected.
Abraham Gonzalez, a key player that stepped up this year, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Oh. A little sting in Abe Gonzalez's hand there as Betts threw an absolute missile, but he was able to get his hands up and deflect that one.
Yeah, Abe was getting behind the line of scrimmage several times tonight, gotten close to sacks, but definitely a big impact player making a deflection there.
Grayson Betts in the backfield by himself again. Puts Luger next to him. This time he's going to play fake again.
Wow.
In a missile. It's Corey Tante again, and he's had a nice night for only being a sophomore receiver.
Yeah, you can't lie. That was a solid catch on his part. You know, he had Brandon Dye right in his face, kind of swatting at him, but he was able to still pull that in and get some yards.
Three to the left, one to the right. It's third down. They're going to hand it to Lugers, and he's stuffed by Jordan Palmer in a swarm of Whiteland's defense.
A very big hit by Jordan Palmer.
Franklin coach is looking for a late hit, but I don't think there is one. You just got to finish the play.
Lugers getting up, limping to the huddle. Looks like that play definitely hurt a little bit, but we'll see if he can get the wheels turning on the next play.
They're going to go for it here on fourth down.
A little bit dangerous with a little Lugers being a little bit banged up, but
they're going to play fake to Lugers. Betts is going to take off, but he's met by Jordan Palmer. And this is going to be a very close call here. Franklin seems to think they have it. I think he's going to be held short, and it's going to be Whiteland's ball, a turnover on downs.
I think that might be the first turnover on downs of the game.
And I think that's exactly
Besides
how you –
the punt, of course.
Right. I think that's exactly, if you're Whiteland, how you want to play that. You have a decent punt off bad field position. You get back, you make a stop, and now you have the ball back.
Yeah, an interesting call, but I guess they're trusting in the defense right now because obviously the first drive they had a good stop, and right now they're just going to put the trust in the defense.
Yeah, we can see senior running back Alex Lugers over here definitely in some pain. The trainer's working on him. Hopefully he can get back on his feet.
Dylan Brown in motion to the left side, and he's drug and thrown. He's going to be brought down for about a loss of 1 or 2 on the play.
Yeah, safety Landon Basie was able to get to him there. You know, he might not be the biggest guy, only listed at, well, only listed at about 5'8", 150 pounds. You know, being a $150, he's got to use those feet. He's got to turn those wheels, get some speed, and that's what he showcased. He was able to showcase that on that play.
Taylor hands it, and there's going to be a flea flicker, but Ollie Taylor runs up the middle, and he's met by a swarm of Franklin defenders.
Something I want to see more of this game is Ollie use his feet. You know, he's, like I said earlier in the first half, I said Ollie Taylor is one of the fastest guys on that field. He could be the fastest guy on that field. Ollie Taylor, when he runs his 40, he's just as fast as anybody in that room. You got to give it to him. Hopefully give him the ball a little bit more. I really want to see some guys of his speed with the ball in their hands. We've seen Jordan Palmer getting the ball a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Clayton Ratliff get the ball even more.
Yeah, and I like the play call right there, but it was just not fooled by the defense. There's going to be a little late pushes going around, but I think it's mutual between both teams, and that's going to be a first down right there for Slade Valentine.
You can see visible frustration on that Franklin defense trying to reel themselves in to make a stop here.
First and 10 for this Whiteland offense. Taylor under snap.
Hands it to Valentine again. Valentine going to pick up about 7 or 8 on the play.
Able to bite off a good chunk of yards that run. You know, we haven't seen that the past couple drives. He's been stopped kind of early, but you know, if we can see a little bit more runs like that from Slate, it'll be a lot better. You know, he doesn't have maybe that second gear as much as we'd want, but when he gets up the middle, he's able to kind of ram his way through there.
Yeah, as you were saying, those 5-yard runs add up over the course of the game.
Ollie Taylor under center. Sends Massengale motion. He's going to hand it to him. He's going to cut it up quickly. It's going to be enough for the first down right there.
Something we haven't called out very much this game, but we've seen both defensive lines and the linebackers be able to get to the quarterbacks and pressure them, and I think that's why we're not seeing as many passing yards as we may anticipate it. Both defenses are doing really well of stopping the quarterback from even going anywhere. I mean, they're getting out of the pocket, but they can't do anything after that. As Taylor's under center.
Valentine again. He has just not been his normal self today.
Yeah, we saw him limping there in the first half, and that could be a factor, you know, fatigue, pain. Might be a little bit rough on him. Yeah, we're hearing he has a little bit of a hip pain, and, you know, that can be rough. Hip pain's very uncomfortable. It's going to make it hard on him to really move and run in general.
Take to Valentine. Guy in front of him, and he's not going to slide. He's going to take the hits.
Yeah, Taylor using his feet, as you said, Jackson, one of his skills that he can use in the game, but just that Franklin defense stopping him from getting those extra yards.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah.
Franklin hasn't been fooled by their so-you-call waggle play where Ollie Taylor's faking to the running back and booting out. I mean, their DNs have stuck to their principles, and they've been there every time.
Got a little chippy after that play. Keep in mind, if you don't make the tackle, you don't get to get up and do the talk. We saw after that play, got a little rough as Tyree Nolan works his way.
Makes some nice moves down the sideline to the 5.
That's going to be his second touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Tyree Nolan this game.
Second touchdown of the night, and Jackson said it earlier. Normally not a player that's getting all these carries, and he's done very well tonight. And he made some nice moves right there, some just nice little cuts, and couldn't be stopped.
Yeah, prime example of, you know, one of those guys who's getting a chance. Coach is giving him a chance.
Now we're going to see him. We're going to see him get backed up. And that's going to be a penalty. Wipe the touchdown off the board.
Called back.
That's a very costly penalty right there. I mean, we were going to be up 7-14. 3:30 left in the quarter. Now it's back tied, even farther back than they started. Just not great for the Warriors. As well as being on 3rd and 15 too. Not a great position.
Yeah, and the penalties have killed both teams. Just honestly more Franklin. I mean, Whiteland's had these long penalties, but Franklin just keeps getting these 4th down jumps and sending the Warriors past the marker.
Yeah, these refs are really throwing the laundry this game.
Little pitch.
They're going to go back to the same exact play.
Valentine.
Wow.
In the end zone, slate Valentine again.
We see Whiteland very excited. We got Ollie Taylor jumping up and down, all the other guys jumping up and down. Go back to the same exact play, same exact result.
And just surprising because they just saw that. The Franklin defense just saw that and still gave up another touchdown. Just a costly mistake by them.
Yeah, and Valentine obviously dealing with the pain perfectly fine right now.
Can't call that one back.
Noah Pope on for the extra point. Oh, and the hold is muffled by Caden Lee, and he is drugged down.
And that's going to be the second time we see a muffled hold this year for the Warriors. And, you know, that could be very costly going into the 4th quarter. You know, it could be an even game, but that's really going to cost this Warriors. Really, that could jeopardize the game. But, you know, if this Warriors defense can hold off and maybe this offense can get a couple scores on the board.
Yeah, Caden Lee, only a sophomore holder. Obviously missed 2 holds this year. They obviously are missing Luke Wineland-Moaning.
Yeah, Luke was a sound holder. That was his job. He went out there and he did it well.
Yeah, and that would have been a one-score game, and now if Franklin scores a touchdown and converts on the extra point, they're up by 1 as it goes in the later stage of the game.
Yeah, something you do not want to see. But as we see in this special teams unit, you have, looks like, Landon Basie to catch the kick. You know, he's showcased his speed this game, making up some pretty good wrap-up tackles. Don't be surprised for him to get along the edge or even just find some gaps, create some good yardage on these kickoffs. Ethan Boone to kick.
There's going to be nobody inside, but that kick's going to go out of bounds, and they're going to get good field position again. Score is 20-14 after the missed extra point. We're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. I guess no break here. Franklin coaches on the sideline not happy. Obviously yelling a lot at the defense.
I think something you can take from this game is that even though it's somewhat early in the season, it's still pretty important as well, because the Warriors 1-1, that Kokomo game was its own thing, looking to be above 500, and Franklin looking to stay above 500 as they continue their season.
Jordan Palmer has been a beast this half. I mean, he's been tearing up Alex Lugers and the whole defense.
Yeah, and you could see I think it was either Coach Chris Cole on Franklin's side of the field was absolutely ripping into his offensive guys to make those plays on the edge, because, you know, that's what's troubling this game is Grayson Betts makes a dive at about the 45-yard line, down at the 46.
Looks like Jordan Palmer in on that again, as well as Clayton Ratliff.
It's going to bring up a third down here.
3rd and 5. They need to convert if they want to keep hope in this game. You know, there's still a quarter and a couple minutes to go, but if the Warriors are able to get the ball back and score, a 2-score deficit can be really troublesome for a Franklin defense.
Especially going into the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir. As Betts run that option, and they will swallow him up behind the line of scrimmage, it looks like.
Very big play.
Maybe a yard.
Aiden Schaefer pivotal in that stop right there.
Yeah, and they're going to send out the punting unit here. Grayson Betts is the punter and the quarterback.
And something that you need to look out for here, which I'm sure coaches know, is Grayson Betts using his speed. Whiteland has been able to run this kind of – last year they did it a lot. They ran a lot of fake punts. Don't be surprised to see a fake punt come from Grayson Betts. We're seeing something a little bit different in this backfield is Clayton Ratliff. Whoa.
I think an illegal formation or a false start.
Wow. These Franklin flags are just really piling up. But what I was saying is we're seeing Clayton Ratliff in the backfield ready to punt, and, you know, maybe he can showcase some of his speed, agility, and even strength, because, you know, that guy, he spends a lot of time in the weight room. He's pretty strong. Maybe he can lay out some of these defenders, get some good yardage for the Warriors offense.
And a horrible punt.
Short punt. Wow.
And, you know, no punts in the first half, but we've seen 2, 1 apiece from each team. In the second half, definitely going to be a little more close, better defense.
Yeah, and Whiteland players were looking for a flag there. Alex Lugers makes a late hit.
Yeah, you could see Sage Hazelwood kind of throwing his arms up like, come on, refs, what are we doing?
And that's just what happens in these rivalry games. I mean, you're going to get later and later in the game, and players are going to start chipping back and forth.
Yeah. We've seen it just this quarter. We'll see it more, I'm sure.
Taylor to Valentine. Gonna get about 5 or 6 on the play. Pretty good run right there.
Man, both these lines you can tell are big, and they are laying each other out. But, you know, one thing I'm surprised is we're just not seeing the production from Blake Smith as we were expecting. You know, they're not running it to the side as much, yes. But you figure as defensive coordinator, he's one of your bigger guys, your stronger guys. You might stick him on the inside, and that's what they're starting to do. But I would have expected this way earlier in the game. But they've kept him at a kind of standing defensive end. Now they're playing in more nose as Slate gets just a couple yards for a gain.
He's going to be close on the first down here.
Looks like first down. I thought it'd be maybe a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. First down. Slate was able to get some yardage, get a new set of downs for this Warriors. Let's see if they can utilize it.
Yeah, and the Warriors lead 20-14 at the end of the 3rd quarter. We will take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network.
We're going to make a comeback. You guys come out and you make a difference. Like, you change the game for us. When our players see you and hear you, it makes all the difference. We have the vision of great things.
And give us a chance to show you again that we're moving in that direction.
Sounds great.
All right, we're back here at James Slater Field. Ready to watch this Whiteland offense. They have a 1st and 10, and we'll see what they can do with it.
And they're going to flip sides of the field here. I think if the Warriors can put up some more points, they're going to seal the game. We haven't seen Ollie Taylor pass yet this drive, which right now we don't need to be seeing because Slate Valentine's doing a good job so far this quarter.
Big run by Slate there.
Yeah, you know, he might not be the fastest, but he can read a gap like no other, and that's what he's made a point of this game is find those holes. This offensive line is doing him justice, doing really well to open up those gaps. As he limps off the field again, the hit might be a little bit of a problem for him, you know. You can see it in his run. He's not as fast and mobile as he usually is, but, you know, he's a 200-yard-a-game guy. He's still getting out there and being their workhorse.
They're going to put Palmer in here to take some weight off Valentine, give him a break. You're probably going to see a pitch here from Jordan Palmer.
A draw, and he'll get swallowed up by Blake Smith. I said earlier he's not being very productive. He proved me wrong. That can be a crucial play for this Franklin defense.
And they're going to give him
the first down. Wow.
That's been a question all night. These refs have gave very generous spots to the Warriors.
They like to give first downs to both teams, but they don't like giving goal line touchdowns.
Yeah, we've seen that several times this game. I mean, right before the end of the quarter, we saw them be pretty generous with Whiteland on a first down, then we see it there again.
You know, nobody's complaining except maybe this Franklin side, but they're getting the same treatment, so – man, a hard tackle as Slate Valentine is brought to the ground. Might rattle him a little bit. Hit the ground a little bit hard.
Just about a pickup of 1 or 2 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8.
You know, this late in the game, do you think they keep it on the ground or do you think they look to pass it more?
They're definitely going to keep it on the ground and get the clock running.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep the clock running. They want to keep the ball as long as they can. and keep the ball away from Franklin as long as they can. With this one-score lead, there's not much they can do. Maybe a timeout.
Yeah, timeout from Darren Fisher. It's 20-14. 10 left to go in the fourth quarter, and we'll take a break on Whiteland Beat Sports Network.
The journey doesn't begin at number 1. It begins before anyone is watching. Before all eyes are on you. It's the journey that made you number 1. And from day 1, it's the extra you give. Extra work, extra hustle, extra sacrifice. They don't mind being a little extra. And neither will our next number 1.
With the number 1 pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select.
We're back on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as there's 10:24 left on the clock after Darren Fisher's timeout. It's 20-14. Warriors have scored 3 touchdowns. Noah Pope has a missed field goal. Tyree Nolan been a big key. I'd like to see him get the ball here again soon.
You know, Tyree Nolan had that touchdown called back, but I see him coming out here looking for vengeance, hopefully getting really just getting another touchdown because, you know, Whiteland, they need to stick to that play. It's worked for them every time. They ran it 2 times in a row, scored both times. One of them might have been called back, gave it to Slate the very next play. Tutty.
The player's going to jump, but no signal from the refs on the field. Pitch to Palmer on the right side. He bowls the heads for about 4 or 5.
This Franklin defense is jumping a lot, and these refs are calling them a lot, but also letting them get away with a lot.
There's an injury on the field.
Looks like Blake Smith down at about the 51-yard line. We hope he's okay.
Yeah, it's 20-14 here. We're going to take another break. Let this guy get up and off the field.
The journey doesn't begin at number 1. It begins before anyone is watching. Before all eyes are on you. It's the journey that made you number 1. And from day 1, it's the extra you give. Extra work, extra hustle, extra sacrifice. They don't mind being a little extra. And neither will our next number 1.
With the number 1 pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select.
Yeah, and we're back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as Blake Smith was the guy down right there. He gets up and jogs off the field. Obviously been a big key to this team.
Yeah, you hate to see that happen later in the game for a team when they need to.
Yeah, he might not have as productive a first half as he usually would, but the second half he's cleaned it up and made some big plays for this Franklin defense.
Taylor under center. Warriors in the I formation. Gonna hand it off to Palmer up the middle. He's gonna.
That's a risky dive.
Well, yeah, they're also taking his legs out. Obviously, you don't want to take a upper body hit with a big player like him.
Yeah, no, and I mean they're going to be ankle biting all game, which stinks because the players themselves absolutely hate that when guys are ankle biting because it's just prone to create injuries, and it's not the smartest in my opinion, but it gets the job done maybe for this Franklin defense.
Yeah, especially for corners, like the smaller guys on the field, they're obviously going to want to take out ankles. They don't want to take a big hit to a player way bigger than him. Pitch to Valentine. Makes him move, but he's tackled.
Yeah, we could hear the pads from there. That was a hard hit by both of them. You could tell both of them they put their helmets and shoulders into it, and that was a typical football play right there.
Yeah, Valentine leaves the game. They're going to bring Palmer back in. They're just giving Valentine a lot of rest. I think this is a pretty good idea from the Whiteland coaches. Get Valentine prepared for next week.
Yeah, next week these Warriors will be facing Perry Meridian.
And Perry Meridian's a team who just challenged Franklin. Actually beat Franklin.
A big hit.
Man, a guy we have seen a lot tonight, excuse me. Senior safety Landon Basie. He's been showing That was an ankle bite right there, but, man, he's been showing his speed and getting to the ball, making some absolute hits.
Warriors break the huddle. Taylor back to pass. He has his brother wide open. Eli Taylor down the sideline. Makes a nice juke move. Still going.
See, something time and time again is Eli Taylor might not have the ball in his hands as much as he may want, but when he does, he makes the best out of it. We saw earlier this year in the scrimmage where he was making juke after juke. I think he had four missed tackles on one play, and there you go right there. He shows off the agility and the speed, getting past defenders and getting some good yardage.
Yeah, that's just brother chemistry. Backyard football, just tossing the ball around to each other. They both have each other's number. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, we saw it. His picture was posted last week. Eli had a pretty tough catch where he kind of mossed him. He was up in the air, had to get some airtime as Tyree Nolan sent in motion. Valentine up the middle. Pushes for about 3 to 4 yards for this Whiteland offense.
Yeah, been a pretty clean game so far. Only one turnover on downs right now. And then obviously a punt from the Warriors. But other than that, it's been a pretty clean game.
Yeah, I do not mind what I'm seeing at all. This is an exciting game. You know, it's a quick-moving game, and that's what you like. You like quick-paced football. You don't want a whole lot of downtime, and neither of these teams have disappointed this week.
Taylor to pass. He's going to run it.
Wow. Ollie really being the teammate there. You know, he was showing it to his guys that he's not a sissy and he's not just going to run it out of bounds. You saw him stop right at those hashes and try to make an extra effort to get to the end zone, but he just fell short.
Still a good run right there. He's going to bring up 3rd and short.
And you look here, there's 5 minutes already run off the clock in the 4th quarter. I mean, if the Warriors score here, Franklin's going to have a really tough time trying to get back in this game.
Yeah, because it is not hard for this Warrior defense to just alternate running backs again and again and again to make it tough for this, really tough for them to get the ball, to get the offense off the field. This Franklin defense can have trouble if they score. Offense, too.
Ollie Taylor calls timeout, and Coach Fisher was on his side there. We're going to go to break here as the Warriors lead the Grizzly Cubs 20-14. We will be back.
Saturday, and my favorite thing when I was a professional football player was Indiana. The Hoosier State always made me feel like family. That's why I trust Indiana's hometown mortgage lender, Bailey & Wood. This family-owned company not only gives back to the communities they serve, but also with their 5-star customer service, they can close on your dream home in days, not weeks. So remember, Indiana, you can always get your mortgages at a snap with Bailey & Wood.
Hey, Jeff, how does this look?
Not bad, bud, but let's stick to mortgages.
We're back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as the Warriors lead 20-14 with 7:04 left to go in the game. Warriors have burned 2 timeouts this half, only 1 to go. But I think they're trying to look to burn some clock here, but still get valuable yards to put one more score on the board.
Yeah, they're inside the 5-yard line. On the 5. So you know, they've showed all game that they've got multiple dudes that can just shove it up the middle and get 5 yards. They have, looks like, single backs as Grismer is in the backfield.
Yeah, they're going to do an F-dive to Grismer. He's going to be close to the first down. I think he's going to have it.
No doubt a first down.
All right, now they have him short. Oh, and they're going to give it to him.
Man.
Whiteland side very excited about that.
Yeah, the student section's very loud tonight. This band's loud. They're excited. Both teams are playing a good game of football, you know, but Franklin defense really got to clean it up. They've been having a lot of flags. Whiteland's kept it clean that way, but both defenses, you know, both offenses really running the clock as it goes up the middle, and it is stopped.
Dude, and what we've been saying, ankle biting. Jordan Palmer just got flipped.
That's a dangerous type of hit. That's those hits that, you know, if you're gonna call a flag on one where he throws him on his horse collar, you might as well call one of those. You don't put your helmet into a guy's kneecaps.
It's going to be 2nd and 3 to go here. Taylor under center. Shifts some guys in motion. Pitch to Valentine on the outside, and he's going to have it for his 2nd touchdown of the night. Slate Valentine.
That makes it Slate Valentine's, well, what would that be?
I want to say his 9th.
Touchdown 8th or 9th on the year. And he's only played about, this would be his 3rd and a half game.
Yeah, and he had 20 touchdowns last year, so I think we could see him surpassing that this year for sure. Closing in on that rushing record his brother set too, by the way.
I mean, Slade Valentine doesn't give enough credits, as he could honestly be a Mr. Indiana for football. I mean, just not enough credits because everyone's just going to blame it that Whiteland's the only running offense and that's the only excuse. But, I mean, he's a great player overall.
Yeah, I mean, you can stick him on any offense with any offensive line, and he's still going to make an impact. Any offensive line that can make even the smallest gap, Slade's one of the best in the state at reading gaps.
Yeah, and it's 27-14. We're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. We will be back. We're back here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as there's 5:45 left on the clock. Franklin has 3 timeouts, but they're down 13 points. Let's see what Grayson Betts can do in this passing game. Obviously not a lot of time to score 2 touchdowns because Whiteland can just run the clock, so they're going to have to pass the ball here.
One thing we need to see on this kickoff here is Ethan Boone keep it up the middle. You do not want to give this Franklin offense the ball on the 40-yard line. He's got to keep this ball in bounds, and hopefully his guys can get through the blocks to make a stop early.
Yeah, Whiteland's student section, as you can see in the top of the screen, is very hype. They're ready to go celebrate with the boot.
Oh, and that might be the kick.
Oh, and he's going to return it.
Wow, terrible choice to return it as it was going to roll into the back of the end zone for a touchback, and that might cost Franklin this drive.
Yeah, it's just going to take extra time off the clock and,
I mean,
challenge Grayson Betts even harder.
Terrible choice to return that ball. But, you know, Grayson Betts has showed time and time again that athleticism. You know, he could take off, spurt 15 yards. You know, he's an unpredictable player, and if they run that option, this Warrior defense can have a hard time stopping it.
Grayson Betts has 4 to the right. Man, this Franklin team, they run some weird formations, I will say. It's going to be incomplete as he throws on the outside of the receiver. I think that's Grayson Betts' fault. Even though he's going to blame it on his receiver, I think that's his fault.
Just a little communication between everyone there.
Yeah, the 6-foot senior Wyatt Mitchell just kind of lost it there. Didn't even look back, you know. He might have had that count in his head to when he needs to look back, and Betts was getting pressured, and he needed to get the ball off, so he chose to throw there.
Betts rolls to the right. He throws to the 6-foot receiver, like you said, and he's going to get his feet down. That's going to be reception, but he's still going to be short. I like how he gets out of bounds there. He's only wasted 13 to 14 seconds so far.
Yeah, Cade Petty, you know, there on the catch. We saw him earlier in the game. He's got the hands. It's just hard for him to keep those feet in. We saw it over here on the other side of the field on 30-yard line. He went up for a catch, had an absolute great catch, came down, couldn't get the foot in. That time he was able to come up with it. They're going to do the air raid as Betts drops back.
Patrick
That's a
Mahomes
pick.
throws a pick.
I think that puts it away for the Warriors here. I think this is a win for them.
Clayton Ratliff. He is a beast safety, and he's been good all year long.
Yeah, I want to say that's Clayton Ratliff's first pick on the year. We saw a pick 6 in the scrimmage. I don't know about that one, though.
Yeah, that's definitely his first as a linebacker, though, because Coach Rudy made a switch this week, and he moved Clayton Ratliff to linebacker. So,
A little chippy down there, but yeah, Clayton. We saw him with the pick 6 in the scrimmage. He shows he has the hands. You know, a lot of guys say cornerbacks are just wide receivers with no hands. I think our cornerbacks can have some hands. Some of these dudes make some good catches, some good picks this year.
yeah, we've seen Eli Taylor. He's been pretty good at receivers since he started playing there. Sweep to Blake Riddle.
Blake Riddle breaking loose. Solid 8 or 9 yard gain for the Warrior offense. 5 yard gain, wow. Terrible read by me.
Regardless of the outcome for either team, it's a great night for football. 71 degrees, little breeze. Everyone in Whiteland here, great atmosphere.
Yeah, the Warrior student section just waved Franklin goodbye as this game is going down on time. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Whiteland holds possession, up 13 points. Ollie Taylor misses a handoff and he's sacked. Timeout by, I want to say it's Franklin. Franklin's first timeout. We're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network as the Warriors lead by 13 with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
I have an opportunity to do something special, and I want to be part of it.
That's the sake of my the basketball.
Lob it up, throw it down.
We have a dream as an organization to be an NBA championship organization. People are going to find out about the Pacers.
And we're going to show some promotion here. Whiteland football on WBSN is presented by Johnson County Ag Storing, located at 6001 North US 31, just north of the high school. It offers fun for the entire family. Host your next corporate event, family get-together, or come by and hang out with some friends. Plus, they even offer Ag Storing leagues. Johnson County Ag Storing also offers discounts for veterans and active duty military members. Call 317-809-7401 and make your reservation today. Whiteland B is also sponsored by Bailey & Wood Financial and Mortgage. And Franklin with another penalty encroachment. The battle of the boot continues. 4:21 left. The Warriors are starting to slow down right now. They're going to pitch to Palmer on the outside.
He's running hard. Oh!
He's going to be
there's
stopped.
some laundry down there on the 35-yard line.
He's going to be stopped for a loss with some laundry on the field.
We'll wait to see what the signal from the refs is.
Still some confusion with the refs right now and where the ball was spotted. The refs looking forward right now, like the penalty is going to be on Franklin, but still some confusion going.
Yeah. We can see the ref talking to senior Landon Basie. Don't know what's going on here. These refs have had a lot of confusion this game.
Yeah, the Warriors are walking back like it's on them, but we still are not sure.
Oh, man, a holding call. That keeps it 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that's actually they're going to decline that, so it's going to be 4th down. About 5 yards.
Man.
We're going to take a break here on Whiteland Beat Sports Network. We will be back.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Emma and Jake's just baby-proof their 2-bedroom bungalow to prepare for baby number 1 insurance. We're good at Madeline and Chance's just gave in and became minivan people to make room for baby number 2 insurance. And we're good at Gabby and Nate's just moved to a house with a bigger backyard to welcome fur baby number 3 insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Whiteland Beat Sports Network, we are back. It's 27-14. The Warriors have the ball. They actually declined the holding penalty. It's 4th and 5.
Yeah, and really, I don't think it's that much of a shocker here to see a win. You know, Whiteland since 2005, 76-30 on their home field. So
Taylor to
not
pass,
much of a
and he's got a
surprise.
D-end on him. Throws out of a sack. Palmer, I don't know if he's going to have enough, though, and he's going to be short.
Palmer really showing his athleticism there, though, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. 4 minutes, 7 seconds on the clock. We'll see what this Franklin offense can do, but they have been getting shut down by this Whiteland defense. They had those first couple scores in the first half, and I think Coach Rudolph really just figured them out. He's like, no, we're putting a stop to this, and this defense has had enough.
Franklin coaches will talk to their players, send them out here, and see if they can put together a quick drive. I mean, Grayson Betts has not shown up the second half as he did in the first half. Four to the right, one to the left. Drops back to pass, rolls to his right again.
Abe Gonzalez back there.
He's going to throw it out of bounds.
You know, like I said earlier, what I wanted to see was these Franklin receivers get open. They were doing Grayson Betts no favors. He's buying himself time, throwing on the run. They're doing absolutely nothing for him, making it really hard to really convert at all.
Yeah, Abraham Gonzalez, he big part of that D-line is also Aiden Schaefer, but Aiden Schaefer hasn't had many sacks this game, obviously. He probably doesn't have any as he's been playing the nose tackle.
Yeah, and Coach Chris Call has kind of eliminated the run game from this game is what it seems like, as they have passed play after play after play.
I mean, Betts drops back to pass again, and there's going to be one complete right there. This is good, but some whistles are blowing. The Warrior coaches think the seam it's on Franklin, and they're going to back up. Still no call from the officials. It's going to be an offensive holding. That's going to move Franklin back after a nice catch on the sideline.
Franklin has dug themselves a hole with flags.
Yeah, I think this game would have been very different without all these costly flags on the defensive side and on the offensive side for Franklin.
Yeah, and really, these offensive and defensive line has just done them zero favors. And the receivers aren't really cleaning it up much either, not giving anything to Grayson Betts. It's making it really hard for him to even do anything.
And Betts in shotgun again. 4 to the left this time, only 1 to the right. Looks like Betts will be moving to the left. Actually, he's going to move to the right and only have one receiver to throw to. It's going to be incomplete. Jake Clemmy is locking up right now. It's going to bring up 3rd and 20.
Yeah, we're not seeing the production from Jake Clemmy as we usually do. He's been known to kind of bring some hard knocks, but you know, maybe he's got one in store to end this game, but who knows?
Yeah, he's kind of cooled off since the first and second quarter.
Yeah, but he's not getting the chance to make those tackles and those plays because, you know, they're throwing the ball a whole lot more, and they haven't ran it his way a whole lot either.
Grayson Betts in shotgun, 4 to the left again. Oh, that's going to be a false start as the receiver on the right side moved. It's going to be Braden Bonesteel.
They're probably most reliable receiver just letting him down on that play. You know, it's only 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in this game, and they are doing themselves no favors.
It's going to back him up 5 more. It's going to be a 3rd and 25. Grayson Betts to the right, 3 to the left. He looks left, throws a screen to Lugers. Gonna be tackled by Brandon Dye. That's not gonna be enough. Still gonna have about 15 more to go. Fourth down and 16. This is the biggest stop of the Warriors night right here. Obviously, the game is probably sealed at this point, but this is for sure a seal right here. Betts with 3 to the left. He only looks left. Launches one deep and is tipped. Oh! And a big hit by Caden Blankenship. Just stopped a first down for the Warriors. It was a nice pass from Grayson Betts, and Caden Blankenship comes in and breaks it up. That's going to end Franklin's night.
Man. This disappointing Franklin defense, or offense, absolutely getting shut down by this Whiteland defense. You know, we talked about earlier in the game that this is probably going to be a shootout, but the tables have turned. This Whiteland defense cleaned it up. And now they sent back the offense right back out onto the field.
Yeah, this time still going to be Ollie Taylor, as many of us were seeing Jonah Upchurch warm up on the sidelines, but they're going to stick with Ollie Taylor for right now.
Senior game against Franklin, the rivalry. Let him win it.
Valentine up the middle, gets outside, one man to beat.
Stiff arm.
And he's grabbed by his horse collar and slung out of bounds.
I'm really tired of seeing these tackles that Franklin's trying to make, and there's no flags called on them. Whiteland's had a couple times where they've done that. But some of these tackles are getting dirty. And as a fan, as a spectator, it's hard to it's sometimes hard to watch because some of these kids it's a little bit of a rag doll.
Yeah, that was a great stiff arm by Slate Valentine on cornerback Ryan Calloway.
Warriors in the I formation, Valentine. Ollie Taylor's going to hand it to Valentine up the middle. He keeps his feet moving. It's going to be enough for the first down.
Looks like Valentine still has some pep in his step after a long game.
Yeah, the clock stops for the first down right now, but once the chains are moved, it will start rolling. First and 10. Ball's on the 13 right now. Valentine in the I formation again. Send Nolan in motion.
Man, an absolute brute tackle there by number 34, Tristan Shannon. Very solid play there. You know, he was able to kind of get off the edge, get around the line, and wrap him up.
Eli Taylor all the way to the right. Slade Valentine by himself in the backfield. Look to see a pitch right here. And that's just what they do. Valentine gets upfield.
With the clock winding down, just coming under 50 seconds, this Warrior offense looking for another score. Ollie Taylor hitting a little bit of a dance.
Hand it to Valentine. It's going to be Valentine's last carry of the night, if I had to guess. From here on out, they're going to knee it or let the clock run.
You know, Ollie Taylor dancing off the field. There's some excitement from these Warriors.
You can see the student section lining up to storm the field after this.
I think Franklin's going to use a timeout. They do not want this game to end too early. So kind of just bad sportsmanship from the coach here. I mean, he can do what he wants, but he knows the game is over.
Yeah, when you're sour, because he came into that game thinking we're taking the boot home. No, that boot is Whiteland's tonight. Sour, maybe a little bit of unsportsmanlike type thing there, but you know what? You like it. It's competitive. It's mean. That's how football is. That's where our offense come back on the field. Keep chugging. Take a knee maybe. We'll see how it goes. Warriors got a timeout left. Franklin has none. So this game is over. Been saying that since about 5 minutes left in the game.
Still set up in a formation. Was hoping they knee the ball, but they're gonna.
As a Franklin player jumps, and they're gonna call a flag on what would be the final play of this football game.
I wonder if Darren Fisher's still a little salty about last year's game, and he wants to keep this game going.
I don't blame him, you know.
It's going to move him half the distance to the goal. They're going to be put on about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, really no reason just to keep this game going. Just want to knee it and
I wouldn't mind seeing another score.
I mean, that would be exciting.
Ollie Taylor under center. Has her player in motion. Hand up the middle to Slate. Looks like a touchdown for the Warriors. I called before this game that the final score would be 38-14. I'd say that's pretty close. No touchdown. Okay, I'm wrong. Are you kidding me? Either no touchdown or he was down on like the 1-yard line. But it does not matter. The boot is Whiteland's. Whiteland was able to hold through the game, secure the boot. You know, they came into this game thinking the boot's theirs. Them W's have been on the chain for a while. There's a whole lot more W's than F's. Happy to see the boot back in Whiteland's hands. Great game played by both teams. But, you know, that Whiteland run game was able to just really hold out, run the clock down. I'm glad to see it. The fans are glad to see it. Looking forward to playing Franklin again next year.
Yeah, and let's talk about what went well for both these teams and what went wrong for both these teams. Gabe, explain what the Warriors did well on offense and like what they didn't do on defense.
I mean, obviously, the run game, Slate Valentine. But, I mean, off of what Jackson was saying earlier, too, utilizing other guys besides Slate to get around and move the ball down the field, as well as Ollie being able to scramble, use his legs, run up the sidelines, and make little passes.
Yeah, and I really think that that Grayson Betts had a good game. I mean, same for Alex Lugers. You got to give it to both of them. Lugers was able to kind of put the team on his back and be the workhorse. Grayson Betts was buying himself time, getting out of the pocket, but these receivers were doing him no favors, and neither was the defense.
Yeah, I wanted to see Betts run a little bit more in the second half, but it's something they were not interested in. I mean, they just put the ball in the air and whatever else they wanted to do.
Yeah, besides defensive miscommunications and defensive mistakes, as well as wide receivers not being able to get open, I think Franklin did play a solid game. But good efforts by both teams.
Yeah, Ollie Taylor, they're pretty happy to have this win. We're going to stay on here while the Warriors are presented with the boot. The student section runs out to come meet their Warriors.
That Whiteland Warrior energy, everyone's so excited.
Franklin may have had this last year, but this is Whiteland's year. They played a heck of a game tonight. Looking forward to seeing next weekend against Perry.
Still haven't seen the boot come up in the crowd yet. Looking for that.
Yeah, we definitely saw a little shorter of a game than we did in week 1 and other games.
And as Whiteland has